What up, guys? It's Grant's Comics here, and today we'll do another comic review. And the review is Archie, Past, Present, and Future and Fun. Boom! This is from Free Comic Book Day. And the last comic book review I did on the Free Comic Book Day comic was, like I told you guys before, I got this last year for Free Comic Book Day. And I also said this before. Maybe I said it before. If not, then this is the first time. But I'm not big into Archie, so I'm not a big Archie fan. But I do know Archie is popping because of the Riverdale show. I don't know if Riverdale is still going on or if Riverdale is still a thing. But and there's probably Archie fans out there just in general before the Riverdale show. So maybe there is Archie fans that probably would want this for a super cheap price. Technically it's free. Anything that sells that is a Free Comic Book Day thing, I'm just gonna throw it in a dollar bin, because Free Comic Book Day stuff that's for Free Comic Book Day, unless it's like a first appearance of somebody, then I'm probably gonna boost it up or something, or I'm gonna look it up or something like that. But if it's not really a first appearance and it's just a Free Comic Book Day book, then I'm just gonna sell it for $1, because I don't want to be like, oh look, it's a Free Comic Book Day book, I'm gonna put it for $1 and it's like $8 because it's a first appearance of something. So I don't want that to happen, because in my mind, if I sell it for $1, I sell it to somebody, then later on I look it up and I'm like, oh man, I should have made it higher for that price, or I should have waited, or I should have looked it up or something. That's like one of my regrets. It never happened to me before, and I don't want it to happen to me. I don't want that to be a first. But so yeah, that's why I actually I was trying to look this up to see if there's any significant value on it, and it's not. It's just a Free Comic Book Day thing. I was like, okay, I'll put this for $1. So here it is. And now let's get into the review and my thoughts of this. Like I said, I'm not an Archie guy, stuff like that, but it's cool that I have an Archie comic, because maybe if this sells, I have another Archie comic that I'm gonna sell in the future, because that I got from Tony's store, the cheap store. How I'd mentioned about that he has like a stack of comics. But yeah, so I got another Archie comic that'll be in my store for Eagle Comics later in the future. So speaking of future and speaking of time, this is like a three story comic. The first one is Jughead goes, like a future Jughead goes into the present to meet the President Archie, and he has this crown where he can like time travel to the past, future, and present. And he's like, oh, Purple Heart, or I think the bad guy was Purple Heart, of each dimension is taking over the world, and I want you to stop this Purple Heart guy. But the only way you can do that is if you man, I forget the stick to the time. There you go. Stick to the time lapse. I was thinking of a way. I was trying to think of a word for it. So there's one where he was superhero in a baby form. There was he was a superhero in like the caveman era. So every era that he had to be a superhero of that era, that version of himself in that era. He just couldn't be like, oh, I'm gonna be myself. It's like if time traveling was real, which would be really dope if time traveling was real. So I got a lot of places I would go to, different eras I would love to go to. But let's say if I go to 1994, that's the year I was born, I cannot dress up like how I'm dressed up right now. I would have to dress up like from the 90s, or I have to dress up like I'm in the 90s. Or if I want to go to the 60s, I cannot dress up like this. I need to dress like I'm from the 60s. You know what I mean? So that's what Jughead was trying to tell Archie, is you gotta dress like you're in that era. It's because people are gonna be like, what the hell is this guy? It's gonna basically, like in Back to the Future, it's gonna break the time lapse, if that's the word I'm looking for. But yeah, so he and the future Jughead goes to all these eras to find Purple Heart of that era. So like I said, he goes to the caveman era, he goes to when Archie was a baby, stuff like that. So it's really cool. The second story is about the modern Archie, and apparently this is like the 80th anniversary of Archie. So this is what it focuses on, the 80th anniversary of Archie. And you get to see, I don't know if you can see on the cover, but there's like different Archies from different eras. So I believe like this is like modern Archie, like now, but there is like a Archie from the from the past, where he first debuted. He looks like a dork or something. So they try past Archie, future Archie, and modern Archie tries to help. Well, past Archie and future Archie helps modern Archie for plan a birthday surprise for the 80th anniversary and stuff like that. And he's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm turning 80, blah blah. And the funny thing about that story is you're 80 years old and you're still living with your parents, really. But then again, it's a comic book. Anything in the comics is possible. You can be freaking 100 years old the year Mickey Mouse, and you can freaking live with somebody in the comics. I mean, Spider-Man, what, 60 something, 50 something years old, and he still lives with his Aunt May. He's like in his 50s, and he's still in school. Well, the more modern Spider-Man, he's working for Oscorp, which is kind of good, but you're 50 years old, and you still live with your Aunt May, and you're still going to school, really? But like I said, anything in comics is possible, regardless of the age, because in comics, age does not matter, unless you're making a realistic comic. Then other than that, age does not matter in comics. But anyways, yeah, so he gets ready for his 80th anniversary birthday with past Archie and modern Archie, and a bunch of Betty and Veronicas from those eras came and attacked the modern Archie. He was like, as much as I think this is dope, they're like giving me claustrophobic vibes. So he is like claustrophobic, but at the same time he's enjoying the whole Betty and Veronica going all over him, stuff like that. But that's one part of the story, and I think that's it. I think those are two major stories in this issue. But anyways, what do you guys think of this comic? I'm just gonna see what the condition is. The condition is pretty cool. And then again, it's from last year, so I'm not expecting much. But it's really, the cover is really clean. The edges are sharp. But yeah, and it says right here, right over there, where it says 80 years of Archie comics. So that's dope. What do you guys think of this comic? Are you guys Archie fans? And if you guys are, comment down below if you are. And if you're not, what other comics? What comic characters are you guys a fan of? Comment down below. And yeah, so like I said in numerous of my comic videos, if you guys ain't subscribed to Grant's Comics and you're watching this video, make sure you give Grant's Comics a follow, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get Grant's Comics to 100 subscribers. Then after, it'll move forward. I would love to get as much subscribers as I possibly can, so I can make more video for you guys and stuff like that. And for those people who are subscribed to Grant's Comics, give this a thumbs up and share this video to the comic book community so they know who I am, they know what my videos are about, and they can subscribe. And just give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Alright.